Hello worms, it's me, Mand. My goodness. Whoa, what a world, what a world. We've had lockdown and then we've had all sorts of other shenanigans and shit going on. And I don't know whether it's lockdown that's just caused the world to go crazy or whatever it is, but I'm gonna make a this is my second video about Astroworld and things, and I recently discovered that I knew Fortnite kind of had a thing going with Travis Scott, and then McDonald's were involved, and that some of the kids at the Astroworld festival were 9 years old, and it's worrying because a lot of commentators, like lawyers and that have, not commentators, but lawyers and that have been saying that how come this wasn't age restricted, and I totally agree with that, because Travis Scott is known to be a rabble rouser. He's known to be violent. He's known to tell the audience to beat up other people in the audience. He's known to be homophobic. And so why the hell have we got companies like Fortnite and McDonald's who are basically aimed at kids to promote someone like that? And all it comes down to at the end of the day is money. Here's someone who's popular, we'll latch onto them. We don't care if they're problematic, we'll just latch onto them, And I don't like to come across as like, oh, I'm so academic and I've got like something worthwhile to say about this. Like, I ducked out of that after my MA because frankly, I think academia is full of shit. It's so far removed from the real world. It's unbelievable. People in their ivory towers writing a load of nonsense and that. I have no idea how the real world operates. I didn't want to be part of that anymore. In a way, I quite would like to do a PhD, but I only want to do it if I'm going to help people, not kind of, pull something out of my arse and get it corroborated by another bunch of people pulling shit out of their arse. But the way I see it, this has got to be a sign that capitalism just doesn't give a shit about people, any people, ordinary people, and that's not news. That's not news. Everyone's seen that. Like, sorry about my wrinkles. I had a migraine earlier. I felt like shit anyway. Yeah, so it's not news, but I think now people are starting to realise that capitalism ain't all that it's cracked up to be. We've had people dying because of a concert that didn't seem to have any boundaries, limitations, or anything like that. It was just like, yeah, let's just let everyone in and let them go mad, and we don't care what age people we're gonna let in, and we're gonna charge 400 quid a ticket or whatever it is, and we're gonna promote it with Fortnite and McDonald's, and oh jeez. It's heartbreaking seeing the testimonials of people, It really is. And a lot of people saying this was promoted as a family-friendly concert. How is it going to be promoted as a family-friendly concert? Did the promoters not know how problematic Travis Scott was? Did they not know, or did they just not care? And it really does. Hopefully now people are just going to look at this and say, yeah, you know what? I ain't going to be ripped off by people anymore. How is capitalism gonna? How far is capitalism gonna go before we realise that we're not going to stand for this crap anymore? I'm not sure whether this would happen in Britain. I'd like to think it doesn't. I mean, recently they passed a law in America where they could say that 14-year-olds can work till 9 or 11 o'clock at night. I don't think that would happen in this country. America is based on capitalism. It's based on freedom, but sometimes, mate, it just goes too far. And I'm really hoping that people will wake up now and see it for what it really is. You know, I'm not a socialist. Like, oh, you know, I want to go out and earn money. I mean, a lot of people are quitting their jobs because, you know, because after lockdown they realise it's just not worth the fucking hassle. And I'm not one of those people. I've got a really high work ethic. I want to work. I want to go out and work. I feel like, you know, whether it's like part of my insecurities or not, I want to go out and I want to contribute something to society, and I want to get paid in return. You know, whatever. But it just sometimes it's just like it just goes too far. It goes way too far. Um, I'm hoping this is going to be a wake up moment for people to say, look, we're fucked off with corporations taking the piss, exploiting our young people. You know, it's. I mean, even back in, you know, in the 1980s and 90s, you had adult rated films with the toy range, and I used to think, what the fuck is going on with that? But it's just, they just don't care, do they? They really don't care. And it's bad enough promoting violence, sexuality, or whatever it is amongst young people. And I'd rather the LGBTQ thing was promoted with young people, because at least that's to do with love. It's not to do with violence and hate. So I'm not saying that, you know, young people are growing up too quickly. I think there's some things that they need to, I mean, there's something quite helpful for them to learn about, you know, because being closeted is not fun. Being not accepted is not fun. I say that from a 51-year-old who nobody ever talked about being gay and bi and everything when I was at school, and I knew bloody well that something was wrong with me. But I don't see corporations milking that as much as they do violent rappers and you know, it'd be like when I was a kid, it would be like having the Sex Pistols presenting Blue Peter. I can't imagine that shit would have happened. But now, who knows? Who fucking knows, you know? There's got to be a line drawn in the sand somewhere. I don't want to say like, oh, won't somebody think of the children? Yeah, but won't somebody think of the children, for fuck's sake? You know, there's limits, please. Come on, let's just say, you know, I know that there's gigs in this country that they don't allow under 18s to go to. There's discos and things that they don't allow under 18s to go to. There's gigs that don't allow under 16s to go to. Why the hell was this allowed to happen where you've got little kids going along for someone who is so their main act is so obviously violent, homophobic, and just glorifies hatred? Why? This has got to be a wake-up call. I'm sorry, but it is. I'm hoping that people will realise now that companies like Live Nation, Astroworld, and all of this was like, look, have some responsibility. Make your tickets 18 plus. Make sure there's safety there. Make sure that people just don't go off the rails. I know there's been a lockdown and everyone's frustrated and everything else like that, and people want to be anarchic. You know, I can understand that. But there has to come a level where little kids who don't have that kind of reasoning, that kind of like, you know, they just they don't rebel against society because they want to. They rebel against society because culture has told them to. They haven't come to a mature conclusion about it. And so we can't really be exploiting kids like that. We can't, you know, and especially if they're going to die. There's just no reason for it, and I don't like to see little kids being brought up thinking that hate and violence is okay. It's, you know, this is different from video games, right? Oh my God, this light is so unflattering. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I look like about 70 years old. Oh. Yeah, and I was going to listen thinking like, fucking old, don't I? Never mind. So yeah, that's still my 2 pennies worth from a fucking wrinkly old enough to be a granny. That's it really. Fuck it. Bye.